Today, we're unpacking a really chilling first-person story that popped up online. It's about the kind of secrets that families can keep, what happens when a friend just vanishes, and a horrifying discovery waiting in the darkest corners of the web. Let's get right into it.
So the story kicks off right here, with this series of frantic messages. I mean, imagine waking up to this from your best friend Alex, who's normally, quiet and pretty reserved. That level of urgency, it's the first huge red flag that something is terribly, terribly wrong.
But to really feel the weight of that message, we have to rewind a little bit. The narrator's past is actually the key to understanding why this plea from his friend would end up leading to such a dark place.
To get what's coming, you have to see how these pieces all fit together. First, the narrator grew up in this town that was just plagued by unsolved murders. It was just a fact of life there. This apparently prompted his parents, who he describes as extremely paranoid, to suddenly up and move the whole family. And it's in this new town where he meets Alex, a total tech whiz who's fascinated by the internet's hidden corners. These three things, right here, set the entire stage for what's about to unfold.
And that brings us right back to that morning, with our narrator waking up to his phone just buzzing off the hook.
Yeah, the messages started flooding in around 3 or 4 in the morning. This is urgent. For a friend as introverted as Alex, this was just completely bizarre behavior. This is not a guy who sends one text, let alone a whole barrage of them.
And the tone just gets more and more desperate with every single message. Where are you? You can practically feel the panic building, right? It's like this digital cry for help being sent out in the middle of the night.
Jack, please wake up. I mean, the sheer number of texts makes it absolutely clear this isn't just some late-night boredom. Something big has happened, and Alex was trying desperately to warn him about it.
So, completely freaked out, the narrator just throws on some clothes and races over to Alex's house. But when he gets there, he doesn't find his friend. He finds a crime scene. Police cars everywhere, lights flashing, neighbors out on their lawns, and Alex's mom just crying by the front door.
And Alex's mom confirms the absolute worst. Alex is missing. He's just gone, vanished, and with him, any possible explanation for those urgent texts. So while the police start their investigation, our narrator gets this growing sense of dread. He knows the answer has to be somewhere in those last few hours before Alex disappeared. So he slips away to the one place he thinks he might find a clue, Alex's room. He gets in there and finds Alex's computer still on, the screen lit up with a bunch of open tabs on the dark web. And as he clicks through them, it's just one after another. News articles about these horrific, violent murders. But then one, in particular, makes his blood run cold. It's an article about the murder of his family's old neighbors from the exact town they had run away from years ago. As he's scrolling through the browser history, he finds the very last thing Alex ever searched for. And it wasn't another murder case, it wasn't some dark web marketplace. It was the narrator's own family name, his last name. Why in the world would Alex be searching for that?
Totally confused and frankly terrified, he leaves Alex's house and just races home. He has to know what his friend found. He decides he's going to follow Alex's digital breadcrumbs, no matter where they lead.
He opens up the Tor browser, the software that lets you get on the dark web anonymously, and he types in the one thing that seems to connect everything, his own last name.
At first, nothing happens. The page is just blank. He reloads again, he's about to just give up. And then, bam, the page suddenly populates with this endless scroll of thousands of video files, and every single one has a disturbing-looking thumbnail. So he nervously clicks on the first video. The scene is some dark room. A woman is tied to a chair, and he recognizes her instantly. It's his old neighbor, the woman from that news article. Then 2 masked figures walk in holding weapons, and they turn to the camera, and they take their masks off. In one absolutely sickening moment, his entire world just shatters. The killers are his own parents. And just like that, it all clicks into place. All those unsolved murders back in his old town, his parents' extreme paranoia, the sudden move, it wasn't about being scared. It was about running from what they'd done. They were the killers. It was always them.
He's just sitting there, stunned, in total silence. He's about to grab his phone to call the police, to tell them everything, when something on his computer screen catches his eye.
It's a notification from the website. A brand new video was just uploaded like moments ago, which means a new murder has just happened.
With this feeling of just absolute dread, he clicks play. The setup is horribly familiar. A dark room, someone tied to a chair, their head covered with a sack.
His parents walk into the room. They go over to the victim and they slowly pull the bag off their head. And the face they reveal is his best friend Alex. He hadn't just discovered their secret, he had become their next secret.
And that is where the narrator's post just ends. We're left frozen in that moment of pure horror. He knows the truth, he's just watched his best friend's murder, and the killers, his parents, are somewhere in the house with him. It leaves us with one final, absolutely chilling question to ponder. What happens next?